Hello students, in this video we shall see how you can pass a variable data to the rules that you define in the Flask application. Okay, so first let us see what we have studied in the last video. So in the last video we have seen first we have to import Flask within our web application, then assign here name of module to app, then three URLs were there. First one is only slash. This URL is associated with function home. That means when we execute this URL in browser, it will display the output hello world. Second URL is there, that is slash about. So when we execute this URL in the browser, it will execute the function associated with this URL. So it will display the contents Vivekanand College Kolhapur. And another third URL is there, that is slash blog. So when we execute this one, it will execute the function associated with slash blog URL. So the contents are, this is the blog of college. So what is the meaning of these three URLs? So these three URLs we have defined it statically. Means what? We have to execute slash about, only then you will get contents Vivekanand College Kolhapur. And when you execute slash blog, it gives the content. So these three are called as static URL. Then there is the difference between static and dynamic. So how we can enter dynamic URL? So let us see how we can enter dynamic URL. So what are the variable rules in Flask to create dynamic URLs? So it is possible to build URL dynamically by adding variable parts to rule parameter. Okay. So whatever rule we have defined, whatever URL we have defined in the last slide, that is slash about slash home. So we can change it with the help of variable name. This variable part is marked as variable name. So we can change URL dynamically by using variable name. And what is the third important part? It is passed as a keyword argument to the function with which rule is associated. Suppose we want to pass a variable name with slash URL. So you should write this argument within that particular function. Suppose we want to pass variable name within slash home or slash about us. So you should pass that particular argument to that particular function. So how we can pass it? So this is the example. So let us see how it executes, how to make URL dynamic with variable name. Okay. So this is the first example. First one, you should import Flask within Flask. This is mandatory. Here one URL is assigned, that is slash. Okay. And with this slash URL, one function is associated, that function is index function. And what are the contents in this one? Hello world. So this is the simple thing, this is statically defined. Okay, so when we execute this URL, this gives you http colon slash 127.0.0.1 colon 5000. This is the address of URL. Okay, slash is here. And what it gives here, when we execute this URL within the browser, it gives you hello world, because these are the contents written in the index function associated with that particular URL. So this is statically defined. Then how to declare it with the dynamic, how to declare it dynamically with the variable name. So this is the example with which we can change the URL dynamically. So suppose we want to write here, suppose the argument is given as XYZ. So you should display the output hello XYZ. Suppose the argument is given as ABC, you should display the output hello ABC. So how we can do this one? So we have to do this one by using dynamic URL. So when we write here route function, within the route you should define that argument. Okay, so this is the variable name. This is the variable name with which we can pass argument with the help of URL. So here I have given the name of variable as name. Okay, so we can pass any name as an argument, and the function associated with this one is hello. So whatever arguments we are going to pass in this URL, you should pass this variable name as an argument to that particular function. So function name is hello, and the parameter which we are passing here name, so we have to pass it for that particular function. So this hello function will be executed with the parameter name. And how we can write it? With the help of return statement. So this name, whatever name we are going to provide with this URL, this would be the string. So what is the data type of this one? String. So how we can write the string? So you should use here %s, that is the format specifier for string. So hello, this is the text, constant text, and %s, this is the format specifier for the attribute for the name, variable name is name. Okay, so what is the syntax here? Hello, this is the text. If that particular parameter is of type string, you should define here format specifier, that is the %s, and then close this quotation mark, because this should be enclosed within a pair of single quotation mark. And how to call that particular content, whatever content we have assigned to the variable, we can call it by using %sign. You should write % with that variable name. Okay, so look here again, app route URL is slash and the parameter is name. You should write this parameter name within a pair of triangular bracket. So it will identify it as name of variable. Okay, and this name should be given within function as an argument. So hello is the function name and name is the argument. These two must be same. Okay, and when we want to type that contents, the contents of that parameter, you should first identify the type of that content. If that particular variable is having string type content, then you should write here %s. Okay, this indicates the string. And how to call that particular variable? So we can call it by using %sign. So %name. So this name within function name is there, and within return statement name is there. So what it returns here? It would be written like this. So now in this example we have seen our URL is like this because we have called here slash function. Okay, only the host part. Here we have to write here the name of content of variable. Okay, so what are the contents of variable here? We are passing here x, y, z. Okay, so this is the URL. Up to this part indicates the URL, and x, y, z, this value will be assigned to the variable name. Okay, so this contents xyz will be passed to the return function. So what it returns here? Hello xyz. Hello is the text. Here hello is there, and %s, s is specified for name. So it will give you xyz. Okay, so what it returns here? Hello xyz. So this part is called as, this is static URL, and this part is called as dynamic URL. So why it is dynamic? because we are passing the content at the execution time. So we have to pass XYZ at the time of execution in the browser. So only that time it will return hello XYZ. Okay. So in this, so in the last slide we have seen how dynamic URL is passed to the web application. So there are some rules, and what are the rules to decide URL? So these rules are based on Workzoox routing model. So we have seen in the last video that Flask is having two type of components. First one Workzoox and second one Jinja template. Okay. So here URL rules of Flask are based on Workzoox routing module, and this ensures that the URLs forms are unique and it should be based on the precedents laid down by Apache. So every time when you write URL in the address bar, you should write the http:// then suppose we have to open the website of our college, then we have to write like this http://vivekanandcollege.org. So this is the address of, this is the URL of Vivekanand College. So with the help of this URL we can visit website of Vivekanand College. Same thing is here. How we can use slash in the URL. Okay. So let us consider this example. In this example again some URL is given and that URL is associated with one function. So what is the URL here? So URL is /flask. Okay. And which function is associated with this one? So this function is associated with this URL, index function. And what it returns? It returns hello. So how it executes? So when we enter this URL in the browser, so URL is this one. You should write here Flask because URL is Flask, and it returns hello. So this URL consists of only the slash at the left hand side. Okay, slash and then Flask. Okay, and when we type URL like this within our browser, /flask and /, so it returns the error. What it means? So only we have given the URL like this /flask. So this slash is not allowed for this particular URL. So it gives you error. Look here. This Flask URL, it is present with the single slash at the left hand side. It is not embedded in the pair of slash. So it returns the error. Means what? Slash is present at the left side, but it is absent on the right hand side. Okay, so it gives you error. When we give slash on the both side, it returns the output like this. Another example is there. Look here, another example. So within this example, the URL is given as /python/. Okay, so in the previous slide what we have seen, URL is given as /flask. No slash is present at the right side, but here the Python word is embedded within a pair of slash. Okay, both are forward slash. Then how it will execute? So when we write here /python/, it returns hello world. Okay, and when we write like this, only Python without the right slash, so it gives you again hello world. So what is the meaning of this one? When we enter URL like this by using two slashes, it executes with both the methods, without slash and with slash. It returns the output. But what we saw in the previous slide, so we cannot execute that URL when the URL is do not having right hand slash. Okay, so this is the difference between slash. How presence of slash executes and how absence of slash executes. Okay, so these are the two rules to give dynamic URL. Then this is the example. In this example, here two URLs are there. Okay, by using only the left hand side slash, and here by using both left hand side and right hand side slash. So both the rules appear similar, but in the second trailing slash is used. Okay, so this is the first difference. So as a result of this, it becomes canonical URL. Hence, using URL /python or /python/ return the same output. So this URL is called as canonical URL. So we will see this canonical URL in the next video, what it means. And however, in the Flask case, when we enter /flask/, it gives you error. Okay, so this is the meaning of slash. Next, so in the previous example, we have seen how the name of content of variable can pass to the URL. So string data type, we used here string data type, /name, slash within triangular bracket name, and we can pass name of that person as an argument to the URL. So we can use here string, we can use here integer, we can use here float, path also we can use. Any is used which can match any one of the item from the list, and UUID. This UUID also we can use with the help of this variable name. So UUID means what? Universal Unique Identifier. Okay. So path, any and UUID is the next part in your syllabus. So we will see how strings, integer and float variable can be passed to the function, and URL. Okay. So in this example, so this is the example in which string variable is passed, integer variable is passed and float variable is passed. So how string variable is passed? So we have seen in the previous video, previous slide. So here, look here, this app.route /hello/ and within a triangular bracket name is there. Okay, so name is the string data type, and this name is passed as argument to the function hello. This hello function is associated with the URL /hello, and how we can retrieve that name within our output? So by using %s, okay, because this is having string data type. And how we can invoke that content? %name, because this is the variable name. Okay, so how to execute this one? So we can execute this URL by using this one. So HTTP, this is the address, and hello URL is /hello, and we have to pass here name of that variable. So what contents are there? A, B, C. So what it returns here? Instead of name variable, it will give you ABC. So the output would be hello ABC. Okay, so we can pass here string. Then next one, how we can pass integer dynamically to the URL. So another URL is there, that is /blog. Look here, /blog URL is there, and we are going to pass here blog ID. So what is the data type of blog ID? integer. By default, variable name is having string data type. When we want to pass integer data type, we should declare it as integer. So the browser can identify user is going to enter integer type of data. So blog ID, and how we can define the data type of that particular variable name by using this statement. So look here, what is the syntax here? First, if string, you can write it directly. If it is integer, then you should write int, then colon, and then name of variable. So int, then colon, and then blog ID. This is the variable name. You can write it anyway. Okay. So then for this URL, this function is defined. Okay. Blog function is there, and we are going to pass blog ID as its argument. Okay. So blog is the name of function, blog ID is the argument. And how we can call that value? So blog ID is having integer data type, so you should use here %d. Okay, %d for integer data type, %s for string data type. And how we can call the contents? So again, same thing is there, same rule is there. Whatever we used for string data type, so we can use that one for the integer data type. So %blog ID. Okay. So how to execute this URL? So again, same URL is there. Only the thing is, you should write here blog. Okay, because we are using /blog URL. And what parameters we are going to pass here? 3, because here we have assigned the data type for blog ID as integer. So you should write here integer number. Okay, so 3 is having integer data type, so we can pass it as blog ID. And then once we execute this URL, it gives the result like this, blog ID 3. Okay, so 3 will be assigned to blog ID, and return statement, it gives the output. Instead of %d, it returns that value, it invokes that value, and it would display on the screen. So this returns blog ID 3. Okay, look here. First one, in the first URL is we have used string data type. This one. In the second URL, we have used here integer data type. And the third one, we are going to use here float data type. So how we can use this one? So again, right here URL, suppose we have to enter data for temperature. So temperature is having float type, real type. So we can use float data type for this one. So /temp, this is the URL. And here we are going to pass float value. And what is the variable name here? Temperature. So look here, we have assigned here float, that is the data type, then colon, and then variable name as temperature. Okay. Then one function you should write for this one. So I have written here temp function, temp, and what is the argument for this one? So in this URL we have given variable name as temperature. So you should pass temperature as an argument for the temp function. So define temp and then temperature. Okay. So these two things should be same. Then within return statement we have to return the value. So how we can return this one? Temperature, this is the again text. Okay, constant text. And then we are invoking here float value. So you should write here %f. So %s string, %d integer, and %f float. Okay, so enclose this within single quotation mark. And how to invoke this value? Again like %name, again like %blog ID, you should write here %temperature. Okay. So with the help of this one, we can invoke value of temperature. Then how we can execute this URL? So again, we have to go to browser, write here same URL, copy that URL. So when we enter command flask run, it gives you one URL. So you can copy that URL to your browser, okay, and then write here temp. Okay, this is the name of URL, and write here floating value, real value. So what is the value here? 4.5. So when this URL is being executed, it will take that value from the parameter, from the argument. So our given value is 4.5. So it will be assigned to the variable temperature, and then it returns the output temperature 4.5 and zeros. Okay, whatever decimal values are assigned by default, assigned for the floating point value, it will return that value. So the output would be temperature 4.5 and zeros. Okay, so in this example we have seen how we can pass string value, how we can pass integer value, how we can pass float value, and how we can change the URL dynamically when we execute that one in the address bar. Okay, so this is the example. Now we will see how it executes in the Sublime by using the edit